Click subscribe to win this Dudek t-shirt. Extra large. Once we hit 1,500 subscribers, I'll send it out to one of the subscribers.
We are season 5, episode 203 with Kenny Schnatter. Don't forget, thumbs up always helps. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcasting app, thank you so much for joining us. We also are streaming our audio to our Podbean. So our audio is going to Podbean. And of course, we are saying hello to everybody and chatting on YouTube. Eventually, we're going to be able to stream to multi-platforms. So until then, I guess enjoy us on YouTube and our audio podcast on your favorite podcasting app. Just search for PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast. My name is Sean Simons, also known as PPG Grandpa. You can find me at ppggrandpa.com. And of course, I'm always over at Paramotor Arkansas and runningtothe.org. That is our nonprofit. It's designed to help disabled veterans learn to fly, but it's also opened up to everybody else. So if you want to learn to fly, we're going to give you some amazing deals that we're also giving the disabled veterans. So we're going to talk more about that and also be giving away free training. What? Free training? That's crazy. Does that really work? Yeah, it does. So tonight we're going to be talking with Kenny Schnatter. No, did I say that wrong? Schnatter. I'm sorry. I messed up. That's my bad. Tonight is about Kenny. Kenny runs Pennsylvania PPG. What's that?
I said that way. Well, on my screen, yeah.
Wherever we
One
are.
of
those.
Kenny is with us tonight. He's going to tell us a little bit about his school and tell us, Kenny, welcome to the show, obviously, but tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get into paramotoring?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. So I grew up doing all kinds of stuff. I grew up racing motocross my whole life. I raced the expert level on motocross, supercross. Did quite a bit of like mountain biking, BMX riding, pretty much you name it, I did it. Especially racing. Raced cars, dirt modifieds, small go-karts, the whole 9 yards. I just loved adrenaline. I guess call me an adrenaline junkie, I guess. I grew up racing motocross. There was no jump I wouldn't do. I just loved being in the air. I stumbled across paramotors by flying RC airplanes. One of the guys that we were flying RC airplanes with had a photo album. He had all these cool airplanes that he would build, and he every time he'd come there, he'd show me the photo album, and in the back of the photo album, he had these old parachutes, the old paraplanes, and that really caught my eye, and that's what got me into paramotoring. When I was looking at it, he was telling me that, oh man, it's about the price of a dirt bike. You can fly. You don't need a license. All this stuff. So I started looking into it, and I started flying paramotors in 2006. It was a dirt bike in the sky. It's like hitting a jump and not coming down for an hour later. So that was right up my alley. I just loved being in the sky. So that's kind of how I got into paramotoring. Just being an adrenaline junkie and just love being in the air. I flew paramotors for quite a few years. Around here, there wasn't any paramotor pilots to fly with, so I was the only paramotor pilot around here. There was a couple powered parachute guys not too far from here, and they had a little group, so I hooked up with them and I was flying with them. And I was kind of getting jealous. They were always taking people up because they had the Buckeye Dream machines and the parachutes and the Destinies, and I kind of got jealous that they were taking people up and I couldn't. So I ended up purchasing one of the guys' powered parachutes that he had, and I went for my sport pilot's license. I had a Buckeye Dream machine with a Rotax 582, and I flew that for years, just to take people up. And my wife was my co-pilot. She was always in there. People would have to fight her out of the back seat. So we did a lot of flying together. We did a lot of fly-ins together. Around here, we had a little flying club. It was called the Wingnuts Flying Club. Bunch of older guys. They were fantastic. They really took me right into their group, and they showed me pretty much everything I know about flying. And then that led to small fixed wings. Now that I had a sport pilot's license, I just had to get the check ride and endorsements per aircraft that I wanted to fly. So I thought I wanted to climb that ladder and start flying fixed wings and I ended up going for my fixed wing endorsement. I have a tail dragger endorsement. I was flying Piper Cubs. I had a couple fixed wing airplanes of my own. I had a Quicksilver. I had a Mini Max with a half a Volkswagen engine. That thing was pretty neat. And I had my last airplane was a Rans S12 XL. I had a Rotax 582, side-by-side seating, dual controls. You could fly with the doors on or off. It had cabin heat. And I flew that for a while. But I started getting bored. When you're flying a plane, it's not like a paramotor. You know, a paramotor, you're part of that plane. You're part of it. You're flying all over the place, and man, you just go where you want. You are part of that machine. But when you're flying an airplane, you kind of just get up, figure out where you want to go, point it in that direction, and go. So I caught myself a lot every time I would take somebody up. I would take off, give them control, and I would just sit there for the whole entire flight and just let them fly. We'd get to where we wanted to go, and I would take control, land, and kind of got bored. So I ended up getting out of flying for a while. Once my kids came along, my wife wasn't my co-pilot anymore because, you know, she was pregnant, didn't want to fly. And then we had two kids back to back. They're 1 year and 2 weeks apart. So there was a long time there that she didn't fly with me. And then once it was time for her to fly, I took her for a nice morning breakfast flight, went for a nice flight to an airport. That was about a 45-minute to an hour flight. I had a runway cafe. And the whole entire time we flew, she was petrified. And I was like, what's wrong, man? You used to love flying. Like, what's going on? Well, she was petrified because her and I were up in the air and the kids were on the ground. So she was worried that if something did happen to us, that who was going to take care of the kids? So I flew for years with her as my co-pilot, and she didn't really want to fly anymore. So I kind of started to lose interest in flying. So I ended up getting out of flying altogether, got back into motocross, got the kids into motocross, did a lot of flying, or I'm sorry, did a lot of motocross stuff. And then a few years went by, I ended up getting back into paramotors. I moved to North Carolina. That's when I met Will. And when I moved to North Carolina, I was in our moving truck, got to the house, we were unloading, and paramotors flew right over my house. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. This is a sign, man. I need to get another paramotor. And here it was the Carolina PPG boys. It was Alan, and those guys flying right over my house. So I ended up stopping, unloading the truck and track them down and find out where they were flying, and talk to Alan. And I'm not sure, Will may even have been there. I'm not sure. But talked to those guys and ended up ordering a paramotor from Carolina PPG and got back into the sport. And once I got back into the sport, man, that's what I got into flying for, was the paramotors. It's just, there's nothing like it, you know. And when I got into it, I felt like, oh, I want to do bigger and better things, and I wanted to climb that ladder of aviation. But the more I climbed that ladder of aviation, I got kind of bored, you know. There's just nothing like paramotors. And once I got back into paramotors, that's it. It's not going away.
Yeah, I guess it's like, you know, being a commercial airline pilot. It's you sit down, you push buttons, you just go, and it's boring. But being able to fly low and slow and do some really cool stuff, just like birds, man, it's a whole different it's a whole different thing from fixed wing to
Absolutely.
soft wing. Absolutely. Sounds like
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. You know, how does flying in a plane compare to be, you know, flying a paramotor? What do you see the major differences are?
It's just, man, the paramotor, you're part of that paramotor. You know, I mean, yeah, the airplane needs you to fly as well, but you're part of the paramotor. You feel everything that wing does. You are just part of that paramotor. And it's just incredible to be able to take off and land on your feet. I mean, come on, there's nothing better than that. Like, we all dream of flying when we're kids, you know. I know I dreamed of flying when I was a kid, but I never thought I could afford it. You know, I grew up, you know, racing motocross and all that stuff, you know, but I think of airplanes as, oh man, that's way out of my league there, you know. But when you think about it, a paramotor is the same price as a dirt bike, street bike. You know, it's right in that category. And it's aviation. You can fly for the price of a dirt bike. It's amazing, you know. Like I said, taking off and landing on your feet doesn't beat it.
that's true. And if you want to, you can always, you know, fly with wheels. So it's not like you are
Right.
like you have to put something on your back.
Right.
But anyway, so you have a school, Pennsylvania PPG. You do that pretty much nights and weekend, but you're going to be going full time doing this pretty soon. Tell us about your school. What got you to get that started, and what are your plans for the future?
Yep. So when I got back into flying, I was hanging out down in North Carolina with the Carolina boys and Will and all those guys, and I just really liked what they had, man. It was just their community down there was just amazing. Just the connection, just hanging out with everybody. It was special. When I planned on moving back to Pennsylvania, I said, man, I want that. Like in Pennsylvania, we didn't have anybody here to train, you know? Yeah, Brian Goff, he's out central, but here on the East Coast, Northeast PA, there is nobody here training. And there's a group here, you know, Ryan, you know, he's part of our group here, our local guys, but there's nobody training over here. There's nobody for anybody to go to. So I started kicking around the idea when I lived in North Carolina, coming back to Pennsylvania, and I talked to Alan and Darren from Carolina PPG, and I said, man, if I move back to Pennsylvania, you know, I want what you guys have here. Like maybe you guys can help me out. Like, you know, they said, absolutely, man. Like, let us know whatever we can do for you. And I moved back to PA, and as soon as I moved back to PA, I had a guy reach out to me and said, you know, hey, I just bought paramotor, or one of my buddies just bought paramotor gear. I know you fly. Do you think you can check out his gear for him? I said, yeah, definitely. So he bought, it was new gear, but it wasn't totally new. He bought paramotor equipment from somebody. He had a very nice paramotor, but he had a wing that was 4 years old already. It was a brand new wing, but 4 years old. It was not a paramotor wing. It was a free flight wing. And he purchased all this equipment and really didn't have anybody to go to around here to help him out. So after I went through all of his equipment, got him in, you know, the right direction and started working with him, I realized then, like, man, I need to do something because in this area, there's nobody for anybody to go to. I want to be that guy that can help everyone out. So that's when I started really thinking about Pennsylvania PPG, and I started working with him and training him for free just as a buddy, you know, just helping him out. Like I felt so bad that from the equipment that he got sold, I felt so bad. I just, you know, jumped in and just started helping him out and getting him in the right direction. And that's when Pennsylvania PPG came about. You know, when I was training him, he ended up talking to me like, man, why don't you do this? Why don't you start a business? Like, you're really good at this. And, you know, the way you're training, like, it's just, man, there was nobody around here for me to go to. And so he kind of really pushed me to start Pennsylvania PPG. And he's actually one of my best friends there. We hang out a lot. And he really helped me see that Pennsylvania PPG could be something around here. And so I opened it up, and it's been going good since.
I'd
Excellent.
actually,
But you're
can I
also
jump in
gonna-
here, Sean, real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to say something here. So when I first met Kenny, he was actually it was just before he started training people. And since then, when I first met Kenny, I was like, man, this dude's solid. Like he's a good guy. He knows his stuff. He's easy to talk to. He's straight. He's a straight shooter. And I was like, you know what? I like this guy. And when I found out that he was starting the school, I stopped recommending other schools to people, and I've only recommended Kenny to people because he really is that good. Like he knows his stuff, and he's not going to steer you wrong. He's one of the most honest. And so the thing that separates Kenny from a lot of other schools is he's not a factory. He's not pumping students out, you know. He focuses on the one-on-one with his students, and he makes sure that those students are honestly ready, not just with their skills, but mentally ready before they take off. And he's just really good at what he does. And I've watched him with his students. He's so good, and he's just a lot of fun to be around and hang out with and talk to. So if you have any inkling, if you're in the Northeast and you have any inkling of getting into paramotor, I cannot recommend him enough personally. I've seen him work with students, and I think he's a great teacher. He's a great great trainer. So you'd be lucky to have him as a trainer, honestly.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate that, man. That really means a lot.
It's just the truth, man.
So like Ryan was saying, like I do this because I love it. You know what I mean? There's nothing like putting somebody in the air for their first flight. I know how I felt when I learned to fly, and I know what I went through to be able to fly. Um, and man, there's just nothing better. And for me to be able to give that to somebody else, man, it's just so rewarding. I mean, there was a time there I didn't fly for like 3 months because I was working with students, and nights and weekends, you can only work with students when it's trainable, when it's flyable, so there's a lot of times when I don't fly unless I'm going up testing the air. There was like 3 months that went by that I didn't fly other than testing the air for my students. And one of my buddies says, "Man, you haven't flown in a while. Like, you gotta be missing it. You gotta." I said, "Well, you know what? To be honest with you, I don't. I'm good. Like when my students are in the air, I'm sitting in there with them. I know there's only one seat in there, but trust me, I'm in there with them, and I go through that flight when when they land, my hands are sweaty, and like growing up, I was never one for, hugs or anything like that, but when my students land on the ground, I just want to tackle them. Like it's awesome, man. It's just, I don't even need to fly. I enjoy watching my students fly.
Yeah, I mean, and the best part I think is when they take their first solo and then they come down and they're like, "Whoa, that was the best thing ever. I want to go up again."
Yep. It's rewarding. It really is. It really is. So, and
Uh,
it's great too, because like I learn so much. And because every student is different. Every student learns different. Every student picks it up different. So every single student that I train, I learn something. And I learn different ways to approach certain situations and how to train certain people. And like some people don't like when you're aggressive, so you have to kind of like mellow it down a little bit. And then other people like when you're tell them like, no, this is what you have to do. It's just to be able to read the people, to be able to learn them, learn the different ways of training. There's nothing better.
I
agree.
think Kyle O'Glee put a stop to that. Hey, I want to go up again because he only gives you a little bit of gas when you take off. Wait, you have to land. There's no, you're coming in to land.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Land whether you like it or not.
That's right.
I may be the cause of that.
You might be.
Once I got in the air, I just stayed there till I ran out of gas.
Oh, wow. He had me do a flyby and he's like, let me check your gas level. He's like, oh, yeah, you're getting pretty low. You might want to come in and land. So, but it's better, though, that he does keep it low. That way it's not as heavy on your back. Because if you fill that thing up with gas, and it's even that, especially for your first flight, you don't want to be taking off with a full tank.
Right.
Yeah, that
That's
would
a
kill you.
smaller explosion too.
A smaller explosion. Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. It's just, and all of my students, so I only train as of now nights and weekends. This upcoming year will be different. There's big plans for Pennsylvania PPG this year. But all last year, the year before, has been nights and weekends. So it's only been students that can come for the weekend, or so pretty much it's been locals. Pretty much all of my students have been within 3 hours away. With that being said, all of my students are buddies of mine, and we all fly on a regular basis. We have a new training facility now, and every once in a while we'll show up and I'll just have the guys come out. I'll get all my students together and we'll meet at the training site and just fly and just have a good time. So it's really cool that you're not just doing it to get somebody in the air, but you're building relationships with every one of your students.
And you get to fly with them when you have nothing better to do. They're all like, "Hey, it's the really
Right.
nice day. Do you have any students? Let's go fly."
Right. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really cool. I have a couple of my students that are like really local. And it's cool to be able to be in the field training new students, and your previous students fly in and land and say hi, and then they talk to your students and then they take back off and leave. Man, that's awesome to be able to have your students that you train to fly show up at your flight, your LZ, and just stop in to say hi. That's so cool.
I agree. Totally agree. Tonight we are going to be giving away some stuff. You're going to be giving away something, Kenny?
Yep, we're gonna give away a Pennsylvania PPG hat.
That's excellent. So if you guys have not done so already, make sure you at Will Fly and say, hey, I'm here. I want to be on that spinny wheel of Winnie Things. And also don't forget to make sure that you are all caught up and you're not using the DVR on the YouTube. I think that I can actually cut that DVR off. Can I enable DVR? Okay, so I just turned off the DVR. I don't know if that actually will kill the DVR, but now you are focused right here. Who do we got in front of you, Mr. Kenny?
This is my son Carson.
Hi.
Hey, Carson. You fly?
Carson, you gonna start
Yeah.
flying, Carson?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I gotta sneak out of the house, and this is my daughter Piper. Here's let her pop in here quick. What happened? Go ahead, hop in.
Hello, hello.
This is my daughter Piper.
Hi.
Oh no.
Hey, Piper.
So she's got to have a Piper wing. Just
That's right. Yep. So with these two, it's hard to go training with these two around because every time I hook up to the trailer and start pulling out, they want to go for rides, and I got to sneak out of the house with these ones around.
That's cool that they're, they both like it. Neither one of them's afraid of it or anything. I like that.
No, yeah, and I have them both in the field kiting. They're both kiting. They're doing really well. I've had my son. We were at a fly-in, the Jersey Shore, PA fly-in, and I had my
Aurora.
son. We were working with him there, and it was
Yep.
pretty breezy. And I was able to get behind him. He was on a road runner, and was able to get behind him, start pushing him, and he flew the road runner. It was pretty neat. I had his feet all the way up here and just let him go and drifted out, flared it perfect. So they'll be flying soon.
Nice.
Just got to get a motor small enough for them.
Yeah, one of those little AliExpresses that
Yeah.
They just
Only
need to add them
3,000 bucks.
25 or something, add them 30. I don't know.
you know, right? Do we have any questions in the super chat, Mr. Will?
Yeah, you got a question from Angela. She wants to know, where in Pennsylvania are you from, Kenny?
So we're in Northeast Pennsylvania. We're very close to Easton or Allentown.
Cool. Cool. Now that family thing you were talking about, with the kids flying and stuff, that was kind of always the grand plan, wasn't it? To
Yeah.
get the family involved. And so is everyone still gung-ho about that? Like the wife, is she still interested? And the kids,
yeah.
it's kind of...
Yeah, so she hasn't been up for quite a few years. This summer we did a foot launch tandem off the beach.
Oh.
And she absolutely loved it. She was petrified to do a foot launch tandem because she's always went up in powered parachutes and airplanes, so she never had to run. But we flew the Jersey Shore on a foot launch tandem for her first flight back into it, and yep, she's back into it. She loves it.
I've never ever seen, I mean, you can't make a tandem foot launch look graceful. It's very difficult to do.
Mine does not want to go in the air at all. But if we find a really good tandem pilot on the trike, might be able to get her in the air. That's about the only way, because I could never take her up. She wouldn't go for that. So
My son, he's a foot launch tandem pro. I have a tandem trike as well, and every time he wants to go up, I say, "What do you want to fly? Do you want a foot launch or you want a trike?" He wants a foot launch every time.
wow.
He is a foot launch pro. I'll take him up anytime. Landings are great, takeoffs are great. He doesn't stop running. He's really good at tandem takeoffs.
Okay, so how many kids you got?
2.
And one of them is now flying?
No, not yet.
Or is that okay?
So
okay.
they're both kiting. They're both kiting, but they fly with me.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
See him at school. I fly, man. I fly
Yeah.
through the air.
It's funny. My son, he's in football and wrestling and stuff. And over the summer, he was, going having football practice, and he was talking to all his friends at school, talking about me flying and all this, and that he flies. And they're like, "No way, your dad doesn't fly." So I gave him a little show over to football practice, and
Nice. I like it.
oh yeah,
Yeah, this neighborhood I moved in, they were like, there's no way that thing takes you in there. I had to do a flight for the neighborhood. They all came out and watched. That was pretty cool. Luckily,
Yeah,
we got a giant field behind the house, so I could take off from there.
it's funny. We did a hot air balloon show, and we set up a display at hot air balloon show. And it's funny to see people that have never seen paramotors before. It's funny to see the reactions on, you just have the motor sitting there, you have the wings in the bag, and they come to you and say, "This flies?" Like, yeah. Well, do you just lay down and it takes off? How does this fly?
It's like a
'cause
rocket.
they don't see the wing, So it was really cool to be at that hot air balloon festival to hear all the different people talk to me about how does this thing fly. So it's
A couple
funny
of
that
people thought it was one of those airboats. They thought it was like a
Right.
motor for an airboat. I'm like, no, it's not airboat. I guess you could if you strapped it on a boat, but
It works. I've done it.
of course you have, John.
I
Yeah,
did.
I get that. I get that a lot, and like be at a gas station filling up fuel or something, and it'll be in the back of the truck. I get that all the time. Is this an airboat?
Yeah.
I've got a little 6-foot John boat here, a little flat bottom. It worked real good with that, but you
You're doing like 40
can
on the
tip
little,
over pretty easy.
have that boat cranked up in the air.
Mm.
Yeah, put on a bike, put on a wagon, put on anything with wheels, man. You got yourself a nice little motor. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Has anybody done it on a skateboard yet? Put a paramotor on their back and skateboard?
I can't even stand on a skateboard.
Seen them do that on a one wheel, but I don't know about a skateboard.
I'm talking about like something that's non-motorized that
Oh, okay, gotcha.
like the paramotor would actually push you on something.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it on skis, right? Not water
Mhm.
skis.
Yeah.
I guess water skis would be next. There you go. Wakeboard.
Yeah. You
I'd
didn't
be
have to worry
afraid
about
of-
the wing hitting the water. You might be all right.
I'm not talking about a wing. I'm talking about just the motor pushing you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So,
I
skiing.
mean, they got something similar to that, right? I mean, except the wind is pulling you, it's not pushing you. The motor's not pushing you, you're being pulled by the wind. What do they call that? Surfboarding? No.
Skateboarding.
It said surf wing.
Wind
right?
surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
kiteboarding?
windsurf. Yeah. Yeah,
Kite
so that
surfing.
Just
I think
wondering
it's
if you
kite
could
surfing, yeah.
just wondering if you could put a
those guys
motor.
can get some air too.
Just
Oh,
wondering if
it
you
gets
could put a motor on your back and use that to push yourself on like a surfboard or something like that. I wonder if that's even possible. Obviously, once you fall in the water, you're done. So you
Yeah.
gotta be
Right to
real
the
quick.
bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, right to the bottom. Gotta get it right.
Oh well, we'll find some other things with wheels. I guess the next thing is maybe the we got a wheelchair over at the ranch, and I bet we could rig up that wheelchair with the paramotor on it. That'd be fun. Then throw a wing on it. There we go. That'll be the next thing I fly.
If it's an electric wheelchair, you could do, same thing John wants to do, pull the wing up with it.
I've got 3 of those electric wheelchairs here and one of those push ones. Don't give me any more ideas.
If you can get it fast enough, I don't think they go fast enough to get the wing up really well, unless you already have some wind, I guess you could.
Since we have all these people here, and we got a lot of people in the super chat, I got a question for you guys. Insurance for paramotor pilots at an airport. I've had somebody that contacted me and said, hey, I wanted to fly at this airport, but they told me I have to have insurance. Now I know that we don't have to have insurance, and finding insurance for paramotors is pretty impossible. And I don't know if this was a municipal airport or a private airport. I need to get more information. But I guess the question is, does anybody have insurance for their paramotors? And if so, where'd they get it? And have you used the insurance for anything? That's for anybody in super chat. Obviously, the question is open for the panel. Anybody have paramotor insurance? I know the USPPA has it on their website, but I didn't get it. Anybody else have anything like that?
Yeah, I got insurance. It's through marsh.com.
Oh, is that Jim talking?
Yeah. Marsh.com. It's called Silver Wings. And I believe that it's available to the US as well. I know a few people who have hull insurance on their airplanes through it.
Can you put that .com in the super chat so we can see it? Or if you got a URL or somebody can pull it up and share the screen, that'd be pretty cool.
Does that insurance cover you or the paramotor or both?
It can cover it all, or like I just have liability. There's no point in having anything else. From my perspective, with Paramotor, they're so cheap. I just self-insure it. But I do know a guy that has hull insurance on his Paramotor. He had an accident, and it was completely covered.
Wow.
But that's in
Wow.
Canada, right? Where you have to have
License.
a license, right?
I believe it will work in the States as well. It's
Right.
marsh.com, I believe it is.
Over at the USPPA, they have insurance resources. Got this right here, which I haven't seen or haven't done it, but it looks like it's statewide insurance.
And dental if you bust your teeth out. Nice.
Oh, well, yeah, and dental. So that's accidental coverage, critical life, dental to PPG pilots. I wonder if that's for PPG or just in general. And then you got
yeah.
commercial for instructors in schools, and then third party liability, which I don't know what that is. But what would you say that insurance was, Jim?
Marsh. I don't know if it was marsh.com or Marsh what?
Marsh.
Let's see,
Marsh.
Yeah, marsh.com. There it is.
So I guess we'll look into this and see if it's something. But anybody post in the super chat about insurance for their paramotors that they have or know of any? No.
The only one that I've heard of is the one that you just pulled up, USPPA.
Okay.
The Marsh, that does sound interesting, especially if it covers your gear.
Yeah.
James said he just creates a fake insurance card on the Microsoft program.
Yeah, I saw that. I wasn't gonna.
That's interesting.
I
Because
mean,
well, I mean,
You
yeah.
do you, dude.
Well, fellas, I gotta go. We'll see y'all later.
Okay,
hey, John, thanks
Hey,
for
John.
John.
Thanks, John.
All right, it is 7:37. We're going to be giving away not only the Pennsylvania PPG hat, but we're also through Run Into the Sky and Paramotor Arkansas. And of course, this podcast is all under the 501c3. It's a nonprofit, everything is. If you go to Run Into the Sky, it's a little bit different because we're actually going to be using the flight school as a nonprofit, and we're changing out prices, and we need to get more people in, obviously. So we're going to be giving away classes or a complete class for anybody that wants to come to Run to the Sky and learn to fly a paramotor. So we're going to be giving that away tonight. Anybody interested in free training? Okay. Do you know somebody that needs some free training? All right. And I probably shouldn't be doing this in front of Pennsylvania PPG because, well, I guess they're far enough away. But anyway, so we're going to be giving away free training also when we do the spinny wheel of Winnie things. What kind of hat do you got? And can we purchase them other than, I mean, do you got a site? Do you have all the merch on there?
Yeah, I don't have all the merch on the site, just the training and the paramotors and the wings. I do have hats. I have some t-shirts as well. They will be put on the site shortly. But yes, this hat here, Pennsylvania PPG, got the blue. I have a white background hat, and I have a teal background hat as well. So
Nice.
whoever wins, I can they can contact me. I can send them the pictures of the hats I have in stock, and
Greg Laney says he bought a Pennsylvania PPG hat at Bad Apples last year, and it's a really nice looking hat. So, yeah.
Kate's
and
been asking a lot about Butch. She's like, why doesn't Butch have internet? Why is he not on the show? Blah, blah, blah. She don't believe.
Who's that?
Jade, she wants to know about Butch.
Yeah, so Butch found himself another place to live. He was living with us for 6 months as he was transitioning, found himself a place to live. And because of all the weather and stuff, he hasn't been over at the school. I haven't been at the school either. It's just been too cold, wet, and rainy. And wherever he is, he doesn't get really good cell phone signals. So not only cell phone signal, but no internet on your cell phone. So that makes it kind of like a pretty bad dead zone, I assume. So I haven't even chatted with him since Christmas. So hopefully everything's going well for him. And when it gets warmer, he'll go back out and fly over at the LZ. So cross our fingers. Butch, if you are watching this, we're missing you, buddy. All right. Any questions from the super chat? Any questions on the panel before we could?
What's Kenny's website?
It is at PennsylvaniaPPG.com.
Oh, that's simple enough. All right.
Yep.
Pennsylvania PPG or Pennsylvania PA?
Yep. So it started out as ParamotorPA.com. But you can also get to it by PennsylvaniaPPG.com. And then I also have a Facebook, which is Pennsylvania PPG LLC on Facebook, and an Instagram account as well. It is at Pennsylvania_PPG.
Okay, excellent. All right, so you got some power to flies on there.
Yep.
Good.
So I'm a power to fly dealer, a Parajet dealer. MacPara, BGD, Ozone. The site's not fully up to date. I got it together and put some of the main stuff on there, and then just got into training and had all plans on updating the site, but things get away from you. And
I like the Calibre there. Those
Yeah, I
Calibre.
like that trike.
yeah, that's a great trike.
That's the one that Butch actually flies, is the Calibre with the power to fly.
Yeah.
He has the RS or the Titan. I can't remember what he has.
No, I also just picked up a dealership for the Blue Sky Blue flight suits.
Oh yeah.
They have the 2, 3, 4, and 5 layer flight suits, so I'm a dealer for them now as well.
Kenny,
I just did 2 big orders for those.
Kenny, I need to get up with you.
Yes, I have one for you. I believe it's going to fit you perfect.
Yes.
And so I have 2 in stock right now. Well, I have 3 in stock right now. I have a 2XL 5 layer.
Well, that
have
be hot.
Yeah, man,
hot.
the 5 layer. You just need just your sweatpants or pants and a t-shirt underneath of it. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, you start sweating putting it on. They're incredible.
But you got to make sure that you launch the first time.
Right. Yeah.
Those suits.
Yep. If not, you're stripping.
Yep.
But I've had a lot of good feedback on the 3 layer. The 3 layer, you can put a couple layers underneath of it. They're waterproof, windproof. They're not as warm as the 5 layer, but for the 30, 40 degree days, the 3 layers are just fine. If you plan on flying 30s, 20s, teens, I'd run with the 5 layer or the 4 layer. They're fantastic. The 3 layers do run a little on the small side. So if you think you're a large, get the extra large. But man, they're fantastic. I put an order in for I think 10 or 15 of them, and they're all gone, and every one of them.
Wow.
Very satisfied with them.
What do those things sell for about?
The 5 layer, they're right around the 400 mark. Yep,
Wow.
They were having a pre-Christmas sale, and they were right around the 360 mark, I believe. But now they're back up to normal price. They will be having another sale coming very shortly. They do a sale at the end of the winter. So if you guys are interested in any flight suits, let me know. They're not on the website yet, so just email me, call me, and we'll get you hooked up with a flight suit.
Kenny, do you have any pictures of what they look like so that we can share with the audience what they look like?
No, I don't. Not on my computer. I don't.
What's the name of them again?
They're blue sky blue.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're nice looking suits. I've
They
seen
are.
them before.
Yep, they are. And you can get them with matte pockets, without matte pockets. We use our phones now. We have Gaggle. So you really, unless you plan on using the matte pockets to maybe store your phone or something like that, I'd probably get them without the matte pockets.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Although that is a handy place to put your phone.
It is, right.
What you said, you do want to get the size. Well, for me anyways, I got the size bigger because I wanted to be, you got to think of it as like how you're going to use it. So if you get the exact right size, it's going to make it more difficult to run too.
Right.
I got the size up.
Yeah, for the trike pilots, I mean, I would just go with a 4 or 5 layer. You don't have to run. You can just sit there and go.
I mean, even the 5 layers. I mean, it looks. If you look at this guy, I mean, he's a skinny dude, but he's not bulked up because of it. So it looks like even though they keep all the wind out and they keep you warm, they're not adding a whole lot of bulk. So that's awesome. I mean, if you go into it like you try getting into a not a snowsuit, a snowmobile suit. Those things are ridiculously bulky.
Yeah, what's nice about these is, so they have a strap down by your feet. So before you put your boots on, you have the strap around your foot, and you slide it into your boot, and it pulls the flight suit right down in.
Oh wow.
And then on the hands too, when you put your sleeves through, it has a hole for your thumb. So you can put your thumb through that hole, and then you can pull your gloves right over it. It'll put the suit into your gloves. It can't slide out. So there's no skin shown once you get strapped in and put your boots on and your gloves on. They don't ride up. They have a nice elastic around the waist to keep it nice and keeps it put there. They're really nice.
Hey, if this helps, I've got the 3 layer and live in North Carolina. I could do with a 2 layer. That's how warm these things are.
They are absolutely. I agree 100%. They're overkill. I would say for the $400 or $380, whatever the 5 layers are, I would compare them to a $700, $800, $900 snowmobile suit easily. I've had snowmobile suits here, and I wish I had this suit before the snowmobile suit because I paid way too much money for my snowmobile suit.
Well, very interesting is I got some heated socks, some electric socks and heated gloves. I got fleece lined pants that are windproof and waterproof. And then I just have a fleece lined shirt with a windbreaker over it. And I can fly in 35-degree weather and be kind of on the warm side. It's the windbreaking, I think, is the big thing. If you can windbreak and have a little bit of heat with electric gloves or electric socks, you stay pretty warm up there. The only thing that gets cold is any skin that's exposed, but you can get one of those full face motorcycle helmets, and stay warm with a nice, what do you call it? The neck gaiter type of thing with the fleece line neck gaiter. Warm as toast.
I just got a full head gaiter thing, and I'm waiting on the flight suit so that I can actually get out in this cold weather and enjoy the views from above, because I've never flown with snow on the ground, so it's kind of one of my bucket list items to check off.
Is there any questions in the super chat, Ryan?
Yeah, actually, I just got one from Greg Laney. He said, how do you determine the proper size of the flights for the flight suit?
Yeah, so on the Blue Sky Blue website, they do have a sizing chart. The 5 layers are pretty much right on. So are the 4 layers. From what it says on the 3 layers, they are made overseas. The 3 layers do run a little bit small, so if you're sizing a large, go with an extra large.
Okay. That's good to know, because I'm probably a medium, in US sizes, so I may end up needing a large.
Yep. Yeah, I do
So-
have a couple in stock ready here, ready to ship.
Okay.
I believe I have an all black one. I have an all black 3-layer. I have a black and blue 3-layer. I have a black and blue 5-layer. It's a 2X. I think I have 3 or 4 in stock right here.
And have you said that you actually have flown those or
Yes.
used them before? And what layers have you used and what temperatures and how does it work?
5-layer. I run the 5-layer. And I flew, wasn't too long ago. It was like 28, 30 degrees and it was warm. Like you're sweating when you take off. It is warm. But it's even when you're up, even though you're sweating taking off, you think that you're wet. Once you get up, it's warm. My hands were the only thing that got cold on.
Do you have like electric gloves or anything?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, you do. And your hands got cold, but your
Yeah,
body.
the gloves that I have only heat the top and not the bottom. So I have to get new electric gloves. So my pinky got cold, and I've had surgery on my left hand, so I don't have very good blood circulation in my left hand. But that was it. You know, flight suit wise, you won't get cold with the 5-layer.
That's pretty cool. Wow, what is Scuba Steve doing?
This
Which-
is so I can stay warm, you know.
Yeah.
What is that? And
This is like, I think this came from Timu. But you can breathe through this one. You know, most of them fog you up and stuff.
right?
Willow's over there just screenshotting his tail off.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but you can put this under your helmet, you know, and this will keep your face warm if you don't have, I mean, besides wearing a flight suit or something like that. It's just,
Yeah, that's the problem I've had with wearing helmets is fogging the
Right.
the screen.
now this one, I mean, I can still fog up my glasses a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit, but
you know, Rain-X
Oh,
makes a really good Fog X that you can put in your car, on your glasses, inside helmets. Fog X, FOG.
You're also going to have a lot more airflow when you're up there, so that'll keep
True.
the fogging down.
So what was that called, Scuba Steve? And where do you
these are baklavas. I got a million of them.
Balaclavas.
Baklava, whatever the heck it's called.
Balaclava.
There you go, balaclava. I always
Yeah.
say baklava because I'm hungry.
Those are really good. They taste delicious. Just don't eat yours. But where'd you say that you found it? And
Those are on Timu. I mean, I got various ones. I got this. You know, this is something that you can keep your ears warm. It's just
But does that work with your ear?
I could have put both on. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to stay really warm, this is a stock cap, but it's got eye holes in it, but it doesn't have that breathing thing in the front. So this one would probably be, I don't know. I don't like feeling muffled by the knitting in front. I had a really cool looking one. I don't know where it's at, but
So how do you search for that? Like if we want to search for that, what's the search terms?
let me think here. How would you search for this? I'll look it up.
Full face mask for winter?
It's
under balaclava.
yeah, balaclava. That's
It's
what
balaclava on Amazon.
there you go.
Right.
Yeah, you can look them up on Amazon too.
Yep.
They got a ton of them on there.
Yep.
I found one though. It says it's windproof.
There's
Sweet.
the one that I got that I just showed for $12.98, but that's on Timu, so I don't know. So
I like the ones that you can actually breathe through.
yeah, the breathe through.
I guess you could search for ski face mask also, because I'm sure if you're skiing, you probably don't want all that cold air going in.
Let me
So
see if I can shorten this link.
All right. So Ryan, we got you spotlighted. Now tell us what you got on and does that work?
This is the balaclava that I got from Amazon. Actually, this was a Christmas gift, believe it or not. What's nice is it goes down, so you can tuck this into your flight suit, your jacket, whatever, and it keeps the air off your neck. And once you get your headphones on and the helmet on, it's going to keep your head nice and warm. And then as long as you have a flight suit or a jacket around your neck, it's going to keep the air out of hitting your neck and the upper part of your body.
How about as far as when you put your muffs on your ears, do they still seal well?
Yeah,
They do?
absolutely. I always double up on my hearing protection though, because I'm already starting to go deaf between fireworks and all the other stuff that I've done, flying and rock concerts and everything else that I used to be part of. So, yeah. Anyway. I lost my headphones. Hang on. Can't hear you.
Yeah. The one I showed, I posted a link in chat, in super chat, if you want to call it that. It'll take you right to it.
Yeah, I just found the one that looks like yours on Amazon for $14. Is that what you're looking at?
I don't know. Does it have this in the front? I mean, if it's got this in there, you think that's it?
Well, there's a couple. Oh my gosh, I found one on Amazon that has little hole things on the front, and it's on a limited time deal for $8.99.
Hey,
Yep.
there you go.
They're not bad. They're not expensive.
That thing that Steve has on the front, over the nose serves the purpose, because I probably have 10 or 12 different balaclavas. But
Hey, I can still talk on my mic too. Hey, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, after a while, it'll start putting pressure against your nose, and that can be a little uncomfortable. But if it's got the little, part that jets out, doesn't that jut out a little bit, Steve?
Yeah, it's not pushing on my nose at all. It's not.
Yeah. On a long flight,
I found this,
continually.
There you
and
go.
Oh, that's different, but yeah, that's cheap too.
yeah, for $8.99 is just a motorcycle windproof. I think is what we're looking for, And if it's for a motorcycle or if it's for skiing, obviously it's
Breathable valve. Okay, well,
Yeah.
it's got valves on it, so you can pull it down. I see in the front, so you can still breathe. It zips up in the back. Wow, mine does not zip. So
I guess that would work. I think I'm going to get it. I mean,
yeah, 47% off right now. I mean, well, 54% off. Oh, for whatever color you just
another
showed.
one. Yeah, this is another one, and it looks
Oh, that's
like
different. Yeah.
doesn't
You know
have.
who would be a good person to ask about this?
I wouldn't get the one with just a filter. The cheaper one is, I got some of those. They don't work as good as the ones that actually have the vent. Yeah, that one. That one,
Yeah,
you
it's got the-
yeah,
Right.
it still feels like you're breathing through material.
So this
Yeah,
one,
that one I think would be better. Yeah.
all right. I think I'm going to go ahead and get that then,
Cool.
and that way.
Yeah, Katie, what do you use? Do you use any kind of balaclava or
Yeah,
mask?
I do. Yep. I have one that I bought at a snowmobile shop.
Oh,
Kind of just like scuba's, it looks like, and it works really
Yeah.
well.
cool.
Basically the
You
same
paid a
exact
pretty
thing.
penny for it too, didn't you?
Yeah, it wasn't $8.
It wasn't no $9. That's for sure.
Nope.
Yeah, if you need the face covering, you need a balaclava because your forehead will freeze quick.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the wind goes right through the mask and hits the
Ah.
forehead and you get brain freeze.
Yeah, and then if you're running a standard helmet, just get a set of ski goggles.
Yeah, they fit nice.
Yep.
I tried ski goggles before, but just wrapping around, the head or the helmet just doesn't seem to work very well.
Right.
Kevin H, you got a question, sir?
I do. I don't think I heard you say it. How much are the flight suits? I looked it up online, but it's in
Yeah,
Oh,
it's in
pounds
pounds. It's in
pounds
sterling
or something
pounds.
like
Right. So, right now they're not on sale. They will be going on sale probably within a month. I will post that once they go on sale, and I'll also post the sizing chart. Right now the 5 layers right around $400. That's with shipping and everything included. And then I think it's like $40 less or something like that for the 4 layer on down 3 layer. So I think the 3 layers right around 300 at the moment. But once they go on sale, I will post a link. I'll have them on my website with the sizing chart and everything.
right.
If you're interested before they go on sale, just reach out to me and we'll get the sizing down and get you one ordered up. We'll get it drop shipped right to you.
Nice.
Excellent. All right, it is 8 o'clock, so I think it's time for Linda to say hello to everybody. If Will Fly wants to put up the spinny wheel of winning things. Any other questions before we go over to give away a hat and some training?
While I'm doing it, I'll ask a question. What is the most challenging thing other than landing or takeoff to teach a student that you found?
I would say when to fly, the weather, when to fly. That's the biggest thing, when to stay on the ground. Everyone thinks that, oh, it doesn't seem too bad out. Oh, it's midday. They don't realize, the weather conditions. And I think that's the hardest thing to teach.
I
can
know
see
when
that.
I went through training, even though Kyle probably said it 8 million times, don't jump in your seat early.
Right.
It just, you feel the weight come off of you and you think you're in the air, but you're not. And if you jump in that seat, right back down to the ground you go.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If your name's not on the list, let me know in the chat.
There's a couple of my local guys in here. We'll give a shout out to those guys. We got John Furman. We got Brian Jones. Those are my local crew.
Nice. Cool.
So John
Good
Furman and
job.
Brian, they went to Bad Apples with me this year.
Oh,
We had a
cool.
good old
Oh,
time.
okay. Yeah, then I would have met them.
Yes, absolutely. You did. Yep.
Well, hello, crew.
Yay.
Will, you can't say you met everybody at Bad Apples, right? I mean, there's no way you could see everybody, right?
But I remember saying hey to Kenny, and I remember he had an
Oh, okay.
entourage.
Gotcha. His entourage.
It
He's got a
we
gang.
had a good old time, man. That was fun.
was.
Not sure if I'm going to make it this year yet, but we'll see.
Well, come
All
on
right,
down.
you guys ready?
All
Are
right,
you
Linda,
ready?
it's all you, girl.
Okay. Welcome, chatters, on Monday night. Thanks for hanging with us tonight. I so appreciate y'all. All right, we're gonna get right to business here. We got Bill H, Walter Priori, Greg Laney, Lovely Kramer, Mr. David Wolf in the house. What's up? 5:55. We got James in the house. We got Lovely Flying Flamingo J. Love you, girl. Greg Laney in the house. Travis DuPont, Angela Preslick, Kevin Houston, Brian Jones, CT Fly, John Furman, Playfield PPG, Joe Adele in the house. What's up, Joe? And the Chad. So good luck, everybody.
The Chad.
The Chad.
Hello, Chad. How you doing?
Not just Chad, it's the Chad.
Right, not just any Chad. All right, so you all say when, and we'll make it happen.
All right, let's make it happen.
Shuffle.
I was gonna say shuffle it a bunch of times.
And
Spinny,
make sure
spinny.
it spins for a while.
I got this
Shimmy,
thing
Cocoa
reads
Puff.
like you do not believe.
I hope so, because as it spins, because we're giving away the hat from Kenny. As it spins, Kenny, tell us a little bit about your hat, and of course your training school.
Yep. So the hat I have, they're made by actually Georgia Paramotor. His wife makes my hats for me. She's fantastic quality hats. Love these hats. All my students get them for their first flight. Every time they, when they get their first flight, they get a hat, shirt, and training. So training has been nights and weekends up until this year. There's going to be big things with Pennsylvania PPG this year. We're pushing to go full time this year. There's going to be several, 2-week, 12 to 14 day sessions this year. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how many we do. But starting April, May, right around that time, there will be a week-long session. So if you're looking for training and Brian,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Perfect.
Yay, congratulations, Brian Jones. You are the winner chicken dinner.
It's a hat, so how does Brian Jones get a hat from you, Mr. Peter?
He's a local guy. I'll give him a hat if you want to spin again. I'll give another hat out.
Oh, that's cool.
It's very nice.
Very nice. All right, everybody. Good luck.
I'm going to go with Kevin Houston.
Yeah, Kevin's right there. I
I
like
hope Kevin Houston gets it.
I'm
Wait a minute.
going to say David Wolf.
Wait a minute. How did Kevin Houston get on the spinning wheel when he's
He
on?
tricked
don't know.
everybody.
He did.
He just
I
like,
was I was just saying hi to somebody in the chat and he put me on there. That's okay though.
yeah, he's like, that's all right. I get a hat. I'm all right with that one.
He's greasing the wheel.
I think we're the only show that doesn't put the panel members on the wheel.
Well, that's because if you guys want anything, let me know and I'll get it for you.
We'll make it happen.
Oh, is it going to be Flamingo or Kramer? It's
Gonna be
looking like Kramer. Yep.
Or we skip completely to Plainfield.
No, I think it's going to be Kramer.
Yep.
I think you got it, girl. Woo!
Kramer.
Congratulations, lovely Kramer.
Okay.
Winner chicken
I
dinner.
expect a pic with your hair in a ponytail going through the back of the hat. Posted on our Facebook page. Yeah, do it.
So,
Nice.
how does Kramer get up with you to get her hat?
She can, if you want to email me, you can email me at pa.poweredparagliding@gmail.com and send me your information, and I'll send you a couple pictures of the different colors I have, and I'll send you a hat.
I love hats, she says.
Oh, cool. She does
Excellent.
love her hats.
Well,
We love you, Kramer. We love you.
absolutely. Yeah. And we can't wait to see a picture of
Deweese says put her on the wheel, Will.
Deweese.
Yep.
Oh, I was wondering where she was at. My Weezy. I love her.
I didn't see anything there that I didn't even see her.
Best.
Anything.
Yeah, she just said add me on the
Something.
wheel.
Oh, I see her up above. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian just said, I'll take another t-shirt instead.
All
right.
right.
What is Brian landing with his t-shirt, messing it up?
Mm-hmm.
And he's another one.
We ready for the spin?
We're ready for the spin. So this is coming from Run to the Sky nonprofit. We are going to be giving away training packages to help more people know about the school. It's all nonprofit, so it doesn't make any difference if you are a disabled vet or not. It is open for everybody. However, we do give disabled vets incredible discounts. Vets that want to learn to fly, disabled vets, as long as you got your DD 214 and get up with us, you can fly for $100 a month for 12 months, right? So it's only $1,200, zero interest. It's only $100 a month for 12 months.
You want to learn how to
Nice.
play Paramotor?
So
And I have time for that shit.
Who said that?
That's my girlfriend.
Let me.
See what I tell you?
Kevin says, damn it, I already got training.
No, her schedule's like she's working 70-hour weeks. So
Kevin Houston.
Kevin.
Woo.
It'd be
So
cool to
Kevin,
learn.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a gift certificate to give to anybody that you want that needs to get free training. Is that okay?
That sounds great, unless you want to spin it again.
We're going to be doing that. We're going to be giving away free training every single week.
Okay. I will take
So
the certificate to give somebody.
All right. So we are going to
Right.
be doing this every week.
Congratulations.
So the nonprofit Run to the Sky is going to be giving away free training. Obviously, donations really help. We are building up the new Run to the Sky website right now, and it's going to be pretty awesome. The whole reason why we did this Run to the Sky and Paramotor Arkansas is to get people involved with being able to fly. Being able to fly very inexpensive, with really good training, right? So we use the USPPA syllabus. We go through the PPG Bible. We go through pretty much everything. We got our videos that are done. Also, we're working on more videos that are going to be, and I hate to say it right now, but this is what we're working on. The PPG Bible we're working on modules, video modules that follows along in the PPG Bible. So as you're reading your PPG Bible, you can watch a video that talks about and shows more about that part of the PPG Bible. Usually it helps a lot of people because when you're reading something that you don't know about, you're like, what the hell does this mean? And I know how many times that people looked at the riser systems in the PPG Bible before they went to training and said, how the hell do you do reverse? You do what? You turn it which way and how do you do it? Right. So we're going to be working on doing that under paramotorcollege.com. You can go to paramotorcollege.com, bookmark that because we're going to be working on making that a really awesome site for people to learn to fly before they go to school. All
Didn't
right.
you say you use AMSOIL? Do you use the Blue Saber?
I use the AMSOIL Saber. Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering because I saw, I don't know if it was a video or if we were talking on one of the shows that the Motul oil likes to put like a lot of carbon buildup on your piston, but the Blue Saber does not.
The Saber actually cleans your piston, and I can attest to that firsthand. The Moster 185 that I bought from Kyle Mooney, he was using the Motul 800 exclusively, and when I got it, the piston had a coating of carbon on it, and I went from Dominator to now Saber, and it's actually cleaned off maybe a quarter of the carbon just in the 40 flights that I've
need
had.
to switch now. I mean, I've only got what 10 or 11 hours on my motor, but I was using Motul because that's what they said to use. So I think I'm gonna switch.
There's a certain number of conditions that have to be met in order for the 800 to be necessary, but otherwise you really want to use like 710 or the Dominator or the Saber. The Dominator and the Saber burn really clean, and they do really good things to keep the motor running for a long time.
It's a factory R, so I think that's why they wanted me to use Motul 800.
Yeah, I think they want you to for the warranty. They can tell if you're not using that kind of oil when they pull the head and they take a look.
If it's not black, you're not using our oil.
Yeah.
I've used a lot of different oil. We have many different machines, obviously, at the school, and we've used different oils to try different oils. Obviously, you know, what's the best? Trying the K2, the Motul 710, the 800s, the AMSOILs, even Walmart, right? So we used all of them in different machines and, you know, clean the heads, obviously, afterwards. After 10 hours, the AMSOIL Saber seems to be the only one that keeps the head nice and clean, and also has a fuel stabilizer. So if you mix your gas and oil, and you know the snowstorm comes through, you're not able to use your gas for a month. Guess what? It's still stable enough, no problem. And after 2 months, I've used gas that had the AMSOIL in it for 2 months, no problem. I've seen gas after a month with non-AMSOIL Saber. It almost looks like it's separating. So
I actually had really good luck with along the same lines of what you were saying. The K2, I had really good luck with. I actually had almost a full 5-gallon jug of mixed, and it sat for an entire winter. It was like 4 months it sat. And I went to the fields. I was like, I was running an Atom 80 at the time. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens. And I didn't have a problem at all. It fired right up, and it's been great. And it burned through all 5 gallons in like 3 flights. I went through that entire 5 gallons, and it was great. It never hiccuped, nothing. It was fine. So I recommend the K2. But it's a little dirtier than the Saber. The Saber and the Dominator are the 2 best that I've found so far from my experience.
Okay.
What do you guys run them at? You do 60 to 1?
50.
Yeah.
Actually, the Saber I just started. I went to 60 to 1. I was doing 50, but I went to 60 to 1.
I do 75 to 1.
What's the reason
that I went thinner?
Yeah.
Just to save oil. The oil's guaranteed to 100 to 1, so I figured 10% isn't a big deal, but in the long run it'll save me a little bit of oil. mixing. You know, it'll save me. It'll get me another 5 gallons down the road.
It's also less expensive than Dominator.
A little bit, yeah.
Saber seems to be pretty heavy in the price, but I still stick with the 50-to-1 only because I've never had a burnt out piston. And I've used it in really hot weather. I've gone full throttle, trying to get some altitude, nonstop, and I've had zero problem with 50-to-1 AMSOIL Saber. So I'd rather have it being a little oil coming out, but a head that's perfect and not warped and rings, than to have a hole in my head. I already got a couple holes in my heads, and I don't need them.
It's not just the keeping the condition of the engine, it's also the long-term effects on the exhaust. Because if you think about it, with the 800, the Motul, a lot of that oil that's not burning is ending up in the packing in your silencer, and it fouls up that silencer quicker. With the Saber, it's all burning off, and it's not as much as making it to the silencer, and it's not going to foul up that silencer to the point where you have to repack it. So it's saving you maintenance in the long run.
I repack anyway once a year. I mean, why not?
How many hours are you putting on those motors?
Lots.
Like 100, 200 a year?
Depends on which one that we're talking about, but like mine that I normally fly, I put on lots of hours, easy 200-300 a year.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I burn the hell out of it. Well, that's also too, I mean, one of the reasons why I use the Saber, and I
Right.
use the 50-to-1, it does do good. I do change out my piston head every 200 hours, like, it says, and the piston heads, they look good. The brand new one to the old one that's 200 hours, they look good, but why, why push your luck? So I change out a lot of stuff every year. All the plugs I change out, the spark plugs every 10 hours. Why not? It's going to follow anyways. All my carabiners, I change them out every year. Why not? The fuel line I change out. The fuel filters I change out at least once a year also. Jesus bolts get replaced every year also. So there's a bunch of things that I just replace, even though they look fine. They probably are fine, but it's the peace of mind knowing that my machine is up to date. And yeah, why not repack? It makes it a
Right.
lot quieter.
It's gonna just get bigger and bigger.
I've got less. I mean, both my motors I've got less than 100 hours, and I think combined I've got maybe 160 hours on both of them. So I haven't had to even think about repacking yet, but I know it's something that's on the horizon. And tearing the motor apart and all that other stuff, it's just maintenance that I really don't want to do. So if I can spend a few extra bucks here and there on oil and know that it's going to last longer, why not?
Anytime that we usually do a maintenance of some sort is we have a class for that time. So
Yeah,
if it's
sure,
something to
yeah.
do, somebody else has, a motor that they want to work on, we just hold a class and it's like, hey, if you want to come on over between this time and this time, we're gonna be doing this. And a lot of people.
Maybe we can schedule one for April.
Maintenance.
What's that?
I was asking Kenny if in his training, if he does maintenance, any kind of
Yes.
maintenance.
Yep. Yeah, we do,
Okay.
all the pre-flight, the minor maintenance. If there's maintenance that needs to be done during training, we do it. Yep, take those pull starters out, clean them, clutches, clean them. Yep.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yep. So this year also, another thing that's getting added to Pennsylvania PPG is maintenance. For people that can't do maintenance, they want to send their motor out to have it maintenance or drop it off. We will be starting motor maintenance as well.
Awesome.
Engine rebuilds. I custom paint props. So yeah, we're trying to go full time here, so we're gonna see what we can do to make it happen.
Hey Kenny, you got a
Full-time
future
and full
client in
service.
me.
Jared is like, let's yank the hair.
All right. Well, it's almost 8:30, so Anything else? Any questions in the super chat on the panel?
So I just want to say, Pennsylvania PPG is a full service dealer. Training, parts, accessories, paramotors, wings, now adding maintenance. The website is not up to date. Just because it's not on the website doesn't mean I don't do it, or doesn't mean I can't get it or have it. So feel free to reach out to me anytime. Even if you're looking for information, I love talking paramotors, and I'm here for information. Even if you don't buy something from me, if you just need some advice, feel free to reach out to me, man. I'm here for everybody, and I love this sport, and anything I can do for you, don't hesitate to reach out.
Well, you are invited to come back and be on the panel every Monday, obviously.
Yes,
Fantastic. Thank you.
Every Monday. That way, more people see you, more people can ask questions. So I think that the more trainers, the more, people we have on here that are knowledgeable, not to say that you guys aren't, we definitely, the bigger the panel, the better, right? The more people are on, the better. And if you're the type of person like me that talks about paramotors all the time, why not? If you want to be, on Paramount Show, make sure you get up with Linda Anderson.
I know, that's right.
Well, that's the reason why I put everything into the nonprofit, right? Nonprofits live forever. I'm not going to live forever, and I want this nonprofit to live forever. And I want people to be able to go to a good quality school like Pennsylvania PPG, right?
Yeah, I need one of them Mac Charger 2 wings at $50 a week for the next 20 years. Yeah.
Interest free.
So we also have a payment plan on our website. So you can use Klarma. We have a firm, we have Shop Pay. We got we're going to be having some more ways of being able to pay that's easier on your pocketbook. We're reducing prices to the bare minimum. And we're trying to help as many people as we can. So if you know somebody out there, a disabled vet, that wants to learn to fly for a really awesome price, have them run over to runintothesky.com or .org and look at our new website with our new payment plans and our new pricing, which is going to be pretty awesome, I think. All right. Kenny, tell us a little bit more about your about your school. How do we get up with you? Your
so you can like I said, it's PennsylvaniaPPG.com is the website. You can email me at pa.poweredparagliding@gmail.com. My phone number is also on my website. It's my cell number. You can call me anytime, text me anytime. And like I said, training, just give me a call, let me know, see any way I can help you. This year is going to be different. We're going to have nights and weekends training for the locals or people that, don't want to take a week off of work. We will have nights and weekends, and we will also have full sessions. It's not only beginners. If you are a pilot, say you took a break, winter hits, you didn't fly for 4 months, you want a refresher course, let me know. We'll work together. We can do a daily session rate as well. I'm here for whatever. I'm open for opportunities, for anything. Like I said, I love the sport, trying to go full time with it. I just love it, man. I just love being in the field. So any way I can help, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much, Kenny, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
Had a
thank
good
you,
time.
Kenny. Appreciate you.
We want you on the panel here every Monday. So every Monday, just jump on like you did today and hang out with us.
Sounds good. Awesome. Yeah, had a good time.
Yeah.
Excellent. Scuba Steve, thank you for being on the show. Here's your 2 minutes of fame.
2 minutes of fame.
And your new .com that I still can't remember. I just know Paramotor Dude, so I'll never be able to get your
ParamotorOutlaw.com. That just takes you over to my YouTube channel, which I do a show every Friday night, 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time, where I talk about vaping and a lot about paramotoring, apparently, because, if you're a paramotor pilot, you're going to talk about paramotors, and that's just the way it goes. It bleeds, everything bleeds into it,
And you
I
never
use-
know what else we're
I
going to
use
talk about.
vaping to check the wind conditions most of the time. I'm like,
It's
And
fun.
yeah, come over, check it out. Free show, obviously. Just come check it out.
how
Yeah.
many vaping products do you have on your little thing behind you?
I have, that's just some. I have probably close to 500. That's low balling it. And that's, I got mods, tanks, battery. I got everything. It's more of a collect. I wish I had that many paramotors, but no.
Yeah, you need to collect paramotors more than vape stuff.
They cost a lot more though. That's the bad part.
Sell them all and start your collection, dude.
There you go. I got electric paramotor. I got a nitro. I got a factory R. I got them all.
Gotta get the EFI.
Surprised.
And
You'd be surprised at how fast your PPG stuff collection grows.
Oh my gosh. I've already bought more paramotor stuff than I ever thought. I was like, oh, this is all the money I'm going to need to spend until you go, oh, wait, I need to get a nice helmet. Oh, I need a headset.
Oh,
I
that
need this,
headset's
that.
not nice enough. Oh, that helmet's not nice enough. I
I
need
need a
another one.
GoPro. Oh, now I need a 360. Oh, now I need this. Oh, now I need that.
How'd you know? Yeah, I got a GoPro. I got a 360 cam. I got an airband radio, then a 2-meter radio. You just keep on and you keep buying stuff. It's a vicious cycle.
Sure is. It's addicting, man.
Next thing you know,
It's
you got
addicting.
six wings and 4 motors, and yeah,
That's
Poor
true.
Munchkin. Oh my gosh.
Dude,
Yeah.
She's always like, where are we going to put all this?
There you go.
Shout out
Hurts
to
out of bed, sounds like.
Steve that has joined our live audio on Podbean. So glad that you made it.
Cool.
And
Welcome.
always, Scuba Steve, thank you for, hanging
My
out with us.
pleasure.
You've been here for a couple of years now, haven't you?
Something like that. Yeah, we're into the second year now. I don't know when because I started flying in May of 2022. So a little bit after I started flying is when I first got on the show. So hasn't
How
been
many flights you got in now?
not enough to even speak of. It is more than I can count on 2 hands.
Oh, that's good.
I got 12.
Yeah, 12. And
Yep.
you've been flying for how long?
Since 2022. But the problem is I didn't get my equipment till later part of 2022. So I only got 1 flight in that year. And then last year, where I live at is a lot of restricted airspace. And I've been too chicken to call the Air Force Base to get permission to fly. I wish I was in an area I could just go outside and take off, but I can't. I have to get permission. And I don't know. I don't like calling people and go, hey, can I fly in your airspace? I don't.
Hey, Steve, just being a drone guy and talking to air traffic control and the FAA on a regular basis, the more that you communicate with them, the better it is, and the more familiar they're going to be with you. And the more that you do that, the more comfortable they're going to be with you flying.
Okay. Cool.
So,
Yeah, I'm going to do it this year.
My 2 cents.
All right, thanks. I'll either call them on the phone or I'd rather call them on the phone than the airband radio because you can barely hear.
Yeah. Yeah, it's better to call them on the air traffic control tower direct.
Yeah.
And don't forget about the 1-800-WX brief.
Okay.
Got Kevin from the Mississippi, man, not falling asleep tonight. So I guess you got some sleep in.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And you're the president of Run Into the Sky nonprofit, helping us with our new transition to helping a lot more people, not only disabled vets, but a lot more people coming through the school with really good quality instructors. Tuition is going to be really inexpensive. We got the syllabus and really good quality training for very little. That's because of the nonprofit. And donations that we get are going to be helping a lot of people get into the sport. So thank you, Kevin, for being the president, Mr. President Kevin, and all the cool stuff that you're doing too. Can't wait for you to get back here.
I'm ready to get back. I'm tired of the cold weather already.
Me too.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
I also got the Will Fly from Will Fly PPG. Not only is he, part of the team here, but he's also the treasurer of Run Into the Sky nonprofit. He helps us a lot in the background, just like he puts everybody on the spinning wheel of winning things. And he does a lot in the background. So I just want to say thank you very much to Will and everything that he does. Will, thanks so much, buddy.
You're welcome, man. You can check out my videos by going to willflyppg.com. And Kevin, say hi, Mom. Your mom's in the chat.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Mom.
Hi, Kevin's mom.
I
I
like
got
the
her
way she
hooked
put
up.
sign Kevin's mom.
Yeah, I got her hooked up on YouTube, and she enjoys watching this. So she wants to come up and fly, learn to fly anyway.
Wow. Well,
yeah,
you
that's right.
got a coupon. Give it to her.
I
There
did.
you go.
That crossed my mind.
Ah,
Get her in the air, man.
there
You
you
have the
go.
family up in the air then.
Yeah, she'd enjoy it.
And thanks, Will Fly, for everything you do, all your cool videos and your Just the Tip. Have you done any more Just the Tip lately?
I have not, but flying season is going to start here soon. So I've got to have something to make videos. I need some more content.
Exactly.
But,
You
back burner.
and Shane still doing a podcast on Tuesdays?
I'm glad you asked. Yes, Tuesday, 8 p.m. If you go to ppgshane.com, it'll take you right there. And it's just a bunch of paramotor people. They get together and they talk, and it's not limited to just paramotors. As a matter of fact, I don't know what the topic's going to be tomorrow. No one does. It'll just kind of evolve.
Organically.
Wing it, man. Wing it.
That's
I like
it.
I guess that's something that I'm curious for everybody that's still listening to the show, that obviously listens to Shane's show. Do you like where it's just a hodgepodge like Shane and Will does, as far as the hangouts, just a hangout talking about paramotors and whatever, or a show more strict like what we've been doing as far as talking more along the line of paramotors? I'm sure both is cool, but
They're meant to complement each other, really. And that was because you do a great structured show. So it's more of just a social outlet, kind of just to hang out and shoot the breeze and
right.
Just kind of just take it by, play it by ear and see what comes up.
Yeah, and you have no filter, while we have like a swear jar, so that makes things a little bit different. We try to.
We're actually working on the no filter part because it's hard to remember the no filter. It says we're kind of on our best behavior when I guess we really don't have to be.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
No, and you're putting the audio on the podcast too, like
Yep, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast, it should be available. Google, all of them.
And how do we find your show on that then?
You can search for Will Fly on Apple. Well, actually, just search Will Fly on any of the podcast apps. And the new stuff will be coming out tomorrow. So, Craig, I think you were asking about that. The episodes will start, propagating. I guess it takes a while to go over the servers or whatever, but they should be available tomorrow.
Excellent. I'm only asking because if people want to branch off on this show to be more talk about anything, I definitely would like to know, because I mean, what you guys got on Tuesdays is pretty much like what Steve does. Steve does, let's hang out and talk about, vaping, and if paramotors comes up, we talk about paramotors. You guys talk about any topic and talk about paramotors too. So
yeah,
I get some very interesting feedback on my show. Like you spend too much time at the very beginning introducing everybody. That's why we try to go a little bit faster when we do that. And our audio apparently is not, somebody said something about our audio. Everybody has different audio, and it's not like conforming. It's not all good audio. It's like,
well, not everybody can buy expensive microphone either, so it's gonna be different. There's no way around that unless we all had the same mic and set up. So that's not gonna
well, we're all in different cities and states too on Zoom. You can only do what we do, unfortunately. But yeah, we'd like to know. Give us more feedback on this nonprofit podcast. We can pretty much do anything they want to. It's a podcast, right? So if we want to veer off and do something, let us know for sure. Ryan Rides is really awesome. He does drone shows. He's been on the show. He's been on the panel numerous times, and you help a lot too. So thank you for doing for all the stuff that you do in the background and all the cool stuff that you do with drones. I mean, not only do you fly paramotors, but you fly drones. How cool is that? What's the count of not paramotors, but drones in your quiver now?
We got 85 drones. We have a complement of 75 that we actually fly for shows. The extra 10 are spares in case, something doesn't decide it wants to work, because every once in a while you get a problem child. But we are planning on we're attempting to fleet by 2. So we're hoping to have 150 by the end of the year. That's the goal. In 6 months, this past year, 2023, we managed to make enough money that we actually ended up ahead of where we thought we would be. In 6 months, we accomplished beyond our original goal, and this year we're planning on tripling what we were able to make. So with that goal in mind, we're shooting for bigger shows and a bigger fleet as well, to enable us to accomplish more and do play ball with the big boys. Basically, we're hoping to expand into a bigger market and get into some of the bigger clientele that has more money to spend, so that we can put on a bigger show. And that includes fireworks, because a parent company of Starflight is a fireworks show. So is a fireworks company. So we want to include that. What we actually, at the end of this season, we started doing drones and fireworks at the same time as a married entertainment form. So it's exciting. It's really cool.
Yeah, it sounds really cool.
And it's all choreographed and has a soundtrack and everything else. So there's a lot to it.
I don't know how that would work, because you'd have drones going over here and fireworks over here, because obviously you don't want to shoot the fireworks where the drones are going to be. So
actually,
all perspective though, wherever
actually,
right?
Yep. Actually, we actually had fireworks going, and as they faded out, the drones appeared behind them.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we had a couple of really cool shows that we were able to combine them, and it was pretty magical. So we'll talk about that more when I come on to do my show. I'll show you guys some video of that. But
are you set up again, Ryan?
I'm sorry?
Set up again to do another show?
Yeah, Linda and I have actually been talking about it a little bit. I'm working on trying to figure out my schedule to be able to make it and have everything ready in time to do a show. So yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah. Yep. Just let me know.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I'm already booking. I got guests pretty much booked for February already. Let's see who I got real quick. Yeah, I got one date open on February, the last Monday of February, and so I'll be starting on March.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll definitely talk. I got some cool stuff in the works, and
cool.
We're working on some weddings and some community events and some corporate events. So yeah, lots of cool stuff.
What are you holding, Linda? Are you beating your cat with a stick? I mean, what?
It's her fishing rod thing.
Oh, it's okay. So you're playing with the cat.
I don't keep her. If I don't keep her entertained or whatever, she'll knock my green screen down. So I'm trying to distract her.
Fishing for Kitty.
Oops! I didn't even realize I was like you guys couldn't see.
Yeah, all I could see was a stick going up and down. I'm like, what's she doing?
You bad cat! You bad cat.
You never know with me, just never know. It is what it is. Yeah. It's my show. That's why.
It is. And just so you guys know that Linda Anderson, she's part of Run Into the Sky also. She is our PR girl through Run to the Sky. And obviously here on the podcast, she does a lot of stuff in the background that you guys don't know about. So thank you very much, Linda, for everything you do. We definitely appreciate that. And I hear that you got a famous son that does something on Thursday nights. What's that all about?
Yes, yes, yes. Paraglidingtalk.com with your host, Robert Michaels. And you can catch him on Thursday nights. And you never know what guests he's going to have on the show. And sometimes I get on Facebook and I'll see something and I'll just, tell him, hey, you need to get this person on your show, whatever. Somebody that talks about paragliding and whatnot, so it's fun. I really have a good time with it. I love finding guests. It's not even a job for me. It's just fun to, get on Facebook and see who's out there and get them on the show like I did Kenny and got Ryan on the show and Scuba and Will Fly and Jim and everybody. I appreciate my crew, my team, as I call them, and I really appreciate everything you guys do because I always say it takes a village. So, thank you so much. Much, much, much love. So, yeah. And like I said, if you want to be on my show, just go to ParamountUSA.com, take you to my Facebook page, and you can check out my website. And yeah, you guys were talking about when you got your first flights and everything. So I got my first tandem in Memorial Weekend of May of 22.
I thought you were going to say 2000. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. At Torchport here in Michigan, and totally changed my life. And then I had so much fun that this past summer, last year, I went back again and I went up in the air again. So thank you so much, Northern Lights, Paramotor LLC, Jade and Eric Lear. They got me up in the air, and it was a wonderful experience. And I'm ready to, here she comes. I'm ready to get back up in the air again this year. So as they say, good Lord willing, I'll be up there again. So that's it. That's my story. And
we need to get you a trike set up so you can start flying by yourself.
Oh no, you don't want me to do that.
Why not?
No,
Why
no.
not?
No. I like to be the passenger. It's more fun that way. Just jump in that nice comfy trike seat and go up in the air. Get up in the air.
I've never been in a trike. I'm actually intrigued. I'm hoping one day Kenny will take me up.
You should try it.
If you don't before them when you're over here, in April.
I definitely. One of these days I just got to get up in a trike. I had a bad experience foot launching once, and I want to get rid of that memory and enjoy a trike flight.
I got my trike. I've taken it up once.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to admit, it is so much easier to take off. Much easier. It ain't even funny.
Yeah.
It's like,
I believe it. I would be the worst foot launcher ever. Believe me. You would not want me to see me foot launch.
Linda,
it would take you an hour to get me up in the air because I wouldn't be able to barely run. I see how fast they have to run to get up in the air. So.
I'll tell you what, my first year, it took me over a year to get the proper posture to take off properly. I still look back at the video of my first flight. I ran over a football field.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
Was you pointing down like?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man, that's gotta suck. That puts weight on your legs too.
It was an Atom 80, and I was going full throttle, running my tail off, and I ran over the length of a football field before I got off the ground.
How much do you weigh?
150.
150 at 240 and 250. I was flying an Atom 80 and getting up with.
Yeah, but he said his posture is off.
It was my posture. Now I'm getting off the ground within 30 feet.
Yeah.
40 feet.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. If you don't, don't use your posture, you're running, and there's no way you can get up. So
you would have thought by half a football field he would have realized. Maybe
you would think.
That's the thing, though. When it comes to something like this, Kenny, right? I mean, as far as teaching them to do the posture, pressure, and power, on takeoff, unless you drill that into their head over and over and over again, posture, pressure, posture, posture, pressure, posture. Get to the 3 Ps on inflation. You forget sometimes. Kevin, how about you? I mean, your takeoffs are good, but I think that your takeoffs are good only because we did a lot of powered taxis without taking off. Right?
Tons of them. We did. My takeoffs are pretty good. My landings are they need a lot of work. But takeoffs are good. Now I'm 220 and fly Sean's Adam 80. So
I think it's more because it's just not natural to lean back like that while you're running.
No,
You're
not at all.
You're used to running, forward. So leaning
Well, you're
back like
not-
that, it's
You're
all
not
about
leaning
trust.
back when you're pulling up the wing. You're leaning forward when you're pulling up the wing. So you
Right.
Right.
you have to do a transition and try doing it while you're running up a hill. Gosh,
Oh, yeah.
that's hard. You're running up the hill, you put on the power, and then you realize, how come I can't get off the ground? Well, because you're being pushed into the ground.
Yeah.
It takes a little while and then you got to lean way back and run up a hill.
Up a hill.
It's
Yeah, I don't think I
really
want to try and
confusing.
take off up
Yeah.
a hill.
Yeah, if you have a hill, I would definitely you'd probably need the extra power to help push you up the hill and take off. But what kind of incline are we talking about? Less than 15 degrees, I assume?
Yeah, less than 15, but it's any
Still.
uphill is
Yeah.
you have to lean quite a bit further forward when you're running up a hill. Then so it's confusing. Takes a little getting used to.
I usually go full power as soon as I start going forward for my initial forward inflation when there's no wind. And I basically push it forward, start to inflate, engage full throttle. The wing is coming up. I immediately lean back and just keep step. So I'm basically just skipping. So, I don't have the weight of the motor. I don't have anything. I'm not running forward. But yeah, you're right. It does take a while. But once you get that posture,
Oh,
you're
it makes a huge
takeoff.
difference.
huge.
And I'll be honest, if Kenny was around as an instructor when I was learning, I would have totally spent the money instead of self-training in a heartbeat because it would have saved me so much of a headache trying to figure out the launching and the landing. Those are the two things that I always had issues with. In fact, I ended up having to get one of my other buddies to help me out with my landings because after I think it was like 35, 40 flights, I got spooked on landings because I had an incident where I ended up face planting. I felt like I flared and nothing happened, and I just went into the ground and just went face first. And I ended up popping my shoulder out, and I brought it, I popped it back in, but I was out of commission for quite a few weeks, and it spooked me. And I ended up getting one of my buddies to kind of help me out. Kenny, Chris Albright helped me out.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, he had me doing touch and goes by the time I was done within 30 minutes, I was doing touch and goes with him because he instilled that sense of calm and confidence in the process. And I ended up doing a crosswind touch and go with him within 30 minutes because he kind of gave me a couple of pointers to help me with the flare technique, and it made a huge difference. So yeah, if I could do it all over again, I would have definitely gone to Kenny because it would have saved me so much of a headache.
He seems pretty calm and laid back. I don't think he's one of them cool guys. You know what I mean?
No, well, it
I'm not saying
depends.
names, but I'm just saying.
I'm sure when Kenny's rooting for his students, he's egging them on pretty good.
Yeah, but having somebody motivate you is one thing, but if they're yelling at you because you're doing something wrong, then that, I didn't want a trainer that's gonna, yell at me. That's why I went with Kyle. I mean, at that time, because I knew he was laid back and seemed really nice, so that's why I went that route. But yeah, he seemed.
If you're yelling at them, it takes longer for them to get it. You gotta just coach them through it. You gotta work with them, and like I said, every student's different. Everyone accepts that training a different way.
The one thing about aviation that surprised me coming into it, because I came into aviation, and I'm not just talking about flying paramotors, I'm talking about flying drones. The one thing that surprised me about the whole thing is everything is slow. You have to make decisions and act according to those decisions. It's not react. It's make a decision what needs to happen and do it. It's not just react to something, because if you react, that's when you make mistakes, and that's when bad stuff starts happening. And part of that is taking the time to process what's happening or understand what's happening. And by understanding and processing, you're taking that beat to keep your emotions in check as well, and react accordingly. And a good instructor is going to be able to do that and keep their cool, and realize and help the student realize that it's not about reacting, it's about understanding and making the right decision.
See, that's another thing. Like,
Real
at
quick, I don't mean to interrupt real quick. Will says he's got to go, so we're going to say goodbye to Will real quick.
I will.
Will,
Yes,
thank
it's been a great show, guys. Oh,
Thanks,
don't
Will.
forget the second annual Flight for Gauge Fly-In, March 21st through the 24th. You won't want to miss that. And you can go to Southeast Paramotors page on Facebook, tell you all about it. You'll have a great night. And thanks again, Kenny. You were awesome, man.
Yeah, well, thanks, man.
Thanks,
Good seeing
Will.
you.
Thanks,
I
Will.
was just gonna say that a lot of times when you go, especially to big fly-ins, like Bad Apples or something, people feel pressured or rushed, and that's why you see a lot of bad launches, because they're rushing to take off. I mean, you need to take as much time as you need so that you're safe before you take off in the air. I mean, rushing is not going to help anything.
No, absolutely not. It's not like riding a dirt bike or a street bike or car or anything. You can't just pull over and put your foot down. So
Right.
you have to take your time. You have to make sure you know, do your pre-flight, check everything, take your time, know that you're connected correctly, know the wind direction. Like, you really got to take your time. Doesn't matter who's in front of you. You know, like I tell all my students, if you know, when you go out on your own, you start setting up. Somebody comes over and starts talking to you, tell them
Start
that you
over.
need time and go back to step one
Mhm.
and start over. Don't just go back a step or two. No, totally disconnect, go back to step one and regroup. You know,
And you know, that actually brings up a really good point. People talk about being nervous about taking off in front of people. You know, people, if you take off at a park or something, you get a lot of people kind of gathering around, watching, you know, asking you questions and whatnot. And a lot of people get really, really nervous about taking off in front of people because they feel that pressure, right? And the way that you deal with that is you don't think about it. You hyper focus on your steps. Okay, I need to check my wing, make sure it's laid out properly. Then I have to check my risers, make sure they're laid out properly and in the right direction on the ground. Then I have to check to make sure that my motor's good, and then I have to do, you know, my clip in and all those little steps. And if you focus on those, by the time you get to the point where you're at the end of the lines and you're ready to pull that wing up, the people behind you, you're not even thinking about them because you're focused on what's in front of you. So you just hyper focus that, you just bring that focus in from here back down to here, and they'll go away. I don't even think about it anymore. I used to feel that way when Kenny, you can attest to this. We have EAA meetings at the pavilion at the airport that we fly out of, and you know, there's 20 guys there watching as we're flying. And the first time I was like, oh, I ain't getting in the air, not with this many guys. I don't like this. And then a month or two later, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on what I'm doing. And I didn't even think about it until I came into land. I touched down and I looked over. I was like, oh, there's like a dozen people watching. I didn't even think about it until I touched down because I was hyper focused on what I was doing.
That's interesting. I guess Kenny, you've been doing this a while too. I assume that you do a lot of with students around. You show them how to buckle in and get everything set up, and you probably go through everything, you know, out loud while you're buckling in, and then you take off. When you first started doing that, I'm sure it's like, you know, like everybody else, you get nervous. There's a lot of people around. Since you've been doing this for such a long time, I know me, I can pretty much go through my entire checklist out loud, which I normally do anyways. And I don't have any problem with people around because I'm usually teaching them or showing them how I do this. You do the same thing as far as, you know, walking through my steps.
Yep. So I'll walk through my steps out loud, show them all their, you know, and then I make them go through the steps out loud. I want to know, like, don't just look to make sure that your, you know, your toggles are in the front. I want you to say what you're doing. So I make them announce every step they're doing.
Yeah,
and if
that
they
helps
miss
them
something, I stop
remember
them
it.
immediately, go back to ground, start, you know, step one, and then do it all over again.
I think it's very important when you're doing your checklist that you go over it out loud,
Right.
you know,
Yep.
and at least for as long as you're in the school, if you're in the school, you know, for 14 days, and you just say that every single time that you do it, it basically clicks in your head. It's,
Right.
it's
Muscle memory.
yeah, exactly. It's muscle memory also too. But when you're saying it out loud, you remind your muscle memory. Remember the first time you got into a car to go drive, right? You put on your seatbelt, you adjusted your mirrors, you know, you moved your seat. You know how far you press that gas down, how far you press the everything down. You know, you're hyper looking at all your different mirrors. Now you get in. I bet you don't even realize that you put your seatbelt on, hit go, and then you end up at the store or wherever, and you don't even remember how the hell you got there in the first place. I don't want anybody to get that, you know, comfortable flying paramotors, but eventually you get to the point that you know how to set up everything. And if something doesn't feel right, you immediately know that it doesn't feel right. And as long as you know that you can abort at any time, take that inflation and that taxi to make sure everything's set up before you commit.
Yep. Never stop learning. You know, like I tell all my students, when you're at the point where you feel like you know everything and that you are not willing to learn anymore, give it up. That's when it's going to bite you. You know, like me, I've been flying since 2006. I've been flying like 18 years or so now. I am still willing to learn. I still learn on every flight with every student, with everything. When you're think you have it all figured out, it's time to hang it up because that's when you're going to get hurt, killed. So always be willing to learn, always be willing to take advice. You know, you got to kind of filter out some of the advice for what's good advice and bad advice, but always be willing to take advice and learn. Never stop learning.
And like you were saying, don't be afraid to abort. You know, there's nothing wrong with taking a second, resetting, and trying it again, because if you taking off and having something severely go wrong, it can be either really costly or really painful.
Yeah, like I said, you can't just pull over and put your foot down.
Right.
That's true. The way we go through school over here is that we have 3 phases of launching. You got your inflation, taxi, and commit, right? So your inflation, obviously you're inflating, making sure it's above your head, taxi. And that's when you do all your checks. You look up to both your wings, make sure everything looks good on your risers, right? You know, make sure it feels good as you're taxiing, because once you commit, now like Kenny said, you can't put your foot down. But
yeah, I've seen people take off oscillating, and that is scary to see. I can't believe they went ahead and committed. I mean, if you're going and your wing starts oscillating and you still keep on the gas, you're asking for it.
Yeah, especially on a trike.
Oh yeah, on a trike, that is even worse.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't realize that on that trike, that if you know, here's the trike, you start doing your pendulum this way. If you do take off, now you're going to pendulum back this way, and you're probably going to hit.
You're going to hit the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. So
hard.
Yeah. So we kind of do same thing as you do. We do inflate the glider, fly the glider, then fly. So that's how I train. Inflate the glider, fly the glider, like you know, taxi in the glider, and then, like you said, then go for it.
I like that. And it's all the same thing, as long as we can remember as new students and bring it into, you know, our flying career, that, you know, inflation and taxi, you know, you can abort at any time.
Right.
And it usually take much to set it down, fix it, and go fly. I know there's been many times that I did do one video. I normally do 3 times and I'm done, right? I usually do 3 times. But looks like Jim needs to go. Jim, let's go ahead and say goodbye for you. We didn't even get your goodbye or anything. And here it is after 9 o'clock. So Jim, our official sponsor of Run to the Sky, ClearPropTV, PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcasting, all of your paramotor calendar, whatever, it's all because of Jim. And I was just thinking that mine smells like maple syrup, so it was really.
I don't think
I don't know how
Ryan
you
hasn't
maple
sent me
syrup
that
thing
maple
without-
syrup flavoring yet, so I don't have it.
Oh, maybe it was just sticky from when you were having your maple syrup pancakes in the morning.
When I was rubbing my hundos on it, huh?
Jim,
Thanks,
drop your address in the chat, in the private chat, and I'll get you a bottle.
No, actually, in all honesty, I can't because my wife is seriously allergic to artificial flavors.
Oh.
So that would be a real bad thing.
Okay.
But, thanks for the thought, though, Ryan. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you want a calendar, ppgcalendar.com. And fly safe.
There you go.
Thanks for hanging out.
It was awesome,
Jim.
Kenny. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim, for everything you do too, buddy.
It's about that time, huh?
It is about that time. So I know that we want to talk a little bit after we go off of the live stream because I think Ryan wants to talk about something. Linda wants to talk about something. If you got the rest of you guys need to go, that's no problem. But if you want to stay in the after show, that's private. You're more than welcome to stay and talk about more paramotor stuff as we normally do. So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Definitely appreciate you. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
We're
Thank you,
here.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
More.
Thanks for hanging out.
We had Kenny, and we definitely appreciate him over at PPG. You can find him at paramotorpa.com. Scuba Steve, paramotorugly.com. What was it? Paramotor people.
Outlaw.
And he's at
Outlaw.
paramotorarcanpirate.com or something. Yeah. Paramotoroutlaw.com. Come on. It's easy.
I just know paramotor dude. So
Steve, I like it. I'll remember it.
It's gonna take a
there
minute.
you go.
It's gonna take a minute. I don't know why you didn't get Scuba Steve ppg.com. That would have been really easy.
I guess I could have. I'll
Why
think
not
well,
both? Why not both?
Right? Why not both? Yeah, there you go.
Why not? Exactly. So we'll say goodbye, everybody. Fly safe, and don't forget tomorrow ppgshane.com. Wednesday, paramotorgirl.com. Thursday, paraglidingtalk.com. And Scuba Steve on Friday. It's not paramotor dude. It's paramotor western. Western
Something.
Outlaws.
It can't be
Outlaw
that
Scuba.
Paramotor
Paramotor
outlaw.
outlaw.
Is it law or outlaws?
Outlaw, no S. Paramotor outlaw.
So I'm going to grab the outlaws, and that way when somebody types in the wrong one, it goes to my site.
There you go. Go for it. Take it.
All right. Good night, everybody. Stay here if you want to talk after the
Thank
show.
you.
See you next
Bye.
week.
See you guys.
PPG, your Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, ClearPropTV, our nonprofit Run to the Sky Paramotor Podcast. Wait till
All that other stuff.
anyway, see y'all later.